The shocking twist that changed Frank's life forever. One day, his supervisor praised his work during a team meeting. Frank has shown incredible dedication and creativity in his approach. His strategies have really improved our outreach efforts and community engagement. Frank felt a surge of pride. The recognition was a testament to how much he had grown and how far he had come from the arrogant young man he used to be. He often reflected on his journey, from the shallow pursuit of his past to the meaningful work he was now involved in. It wasn't always easy, but it was worth it. The day of the community event arrived, and Precious was both excited and nervous. The venue was bustling with activity as volunteers set up booths, decorations, and information stations. Precious was in her element, coordinating everything with focused energy. Frank arrived early to help set up, bringing with him a few colleagues from his internship. Their assistance was invaluable, and the event started taking shape beautifully. Precious was grateful for Frank's support and the way he had embraced the cause. As the event began, it was clear that the turnout was impressive. The community was engaged and enthusiastic about the initiative. Precious took a moment to look around and feel a deep sense of accomplishment. She found Frank and thanked him for his help. "I couldn't have done this without you." Frank smiled. "It was my pleasure. Seeing the impact of this event makes all the hard work worth it." With the event a success, Precious and Frank took some time to reflect on their experiences. They had come a long way from the university days, and their internships had given them new perspectives on life and their future. Precious felt a renewed sense of purpose. The event had reinforced her passion for community work, and she was more determined than ever to make a difference. Frank, on the other hand, was finding fulfillment in his work with the social enterprise. He had discovered a new sense of responsibility and dedication to causes that mattered beyond his own interest. They met at their favorite cafe, discussing their future plans. "I feel like I've learned so much," Precious said, stirring her coffee. "This internship has opened my eyes to so many possibilities." Frank nodded. "Me too. It's amazing how much more meaningful life feels when you're doing something you truly believe in." As their internships continued, Precious and Frank occasionally reconnected with old friends from university. They often shared stories of their new experiences and how they had changed since their time on campus. One afternoon, they met up with Bola, who was excited to hear about their internships. "You guys are doing amazing things," he said, clearly impressed. "It's inspiring to see how much you've both grown." Bola shared his own experiences, having taken a year off to travel and work on various projects. His adventures had broadened his horizons, and he was now considering starting his own business. The reunion was a reminder of the close-knit group they had once been and how their paths had diverged and come together in new ways. One weekend, Precious received a surprise visit from her family. Her parents and younger siblings had come to the city to see her, and they were excited to explore the new surroundings. Precious showed them around, taking them to her favorite spots and sharing stories about her work. They were proud of her accomplishments and impressed by the city's vibrancy. The visit was a refreshing break from her busy schedule, and it reminded her of the support and love that had always been a part of her journey. Her family's encouragement gave her an extra boost of confidence. As the internship neared its end, Precious had the opportunity to meet with a mentor assigned by the nonprofit organization. The mentor was a seasoned professional with extensive experience in community development. During their meetings, Precious gained valuable insights and advice on navigating her career path. Her mentor's guidance helped her refine her goals and approach to her work. "Remember," her mentor said, "the work you're doing is impactful, but it's also a journey of growth. Embrace every challenge as a learning opportunity." Precious took the advice to heart and felt more prepared for the next steps in her career. With the end of the internships approaching, both Frank and Precious took time to reflect on their experiences. They had come a long way from their previous selves, and the journey had been transformative. Frank realized that his newfound purpose and dedication to social entrepreneurship were not just fleeting interest. They were integral to who he had become, and he was committed to continuing this path. Precious felt a sense of accomplishment and clarity about her future. The internship had solidified her passion for community work and given her the confidence to pursue her dreams. As the internships concluded, Precious and Frank had to say goodbye to their respective roles and colleagues. The farewell was bittersweet, filled with gratitude for the experiences they had gained. At a small gathering with their friends and colleagues, Precious and Frank exchanged heartfelt goodbyes. They made promises to stay in touch and continue supporting each other. "Thank you for everything," Precious said to Frank, her eyes glistening. "This journey wouldn't have been the same without you." Frank hugged her warmly. "We've both come so far. I'm excited to see where our paths lead next." As Precious and Frank embarked on their separate paths after their internships, their lives continued to evolve in exciting ways. Precious began working full-time with the non-profit organization, diving into new projects with the same passion and dedication she had shown during her internship. Frank, meanwhile, was promoted within the social enterprise. His role expanded to include more strategic responsibilities, and he found himself deeply involved in shaping the organization's future. Despite the demands of their new roles, they continued to support each other through phone calls, messages, and occasional meetups. Their friendship deepened, and the time they spent together grew more meaningful. The connection they had developed during their internships gradually evolved into something more profound. They began to appreciate each other not just as friends but as significant parts of each other's lives. One crisp autumn afternoon, Frank and Precious met for a leisurely walk in the park. The leaves had turned vibrant shades of orange and red, creating a picturesque backdrop for their conversation. As they strolled along the winding paths, they talked about their goals, their dreams, and their daily lives. The conversation flowed effortlessly, and they found themselves sharing more personal details than ever before. "I never thought I'd end up here," Precious said, her voice filled with contentment. "Working with this organization has been everything I hoped for and more. It's challenging, but it feels so right." Frank nodded, admiring her enthusiasm. "I feel the same way. The work we're doing is making a real difference, and I'm glad to be part of it. But I've realized that having someone to share these experiences with makes it even more meaningful." Precious glanced at him, a hint of a smile on her lips. "I'm grateful for your support and friendship, Frank. It's made this journey so much more enjoyable." As they continued walking, Frank felt a growing sense of affection for Precious. He admired her resilience, her kindness, and the way she viewed the world. He found himself increasingly drawn to her, not just as a friend but as someone who could be a central part of his life. As the months passed, Frank and Precious spent more time together outside of their work. They enjoyed simple pleasures like cooking meals together, watching movies, and exploring new parts of the city. One evening, after a cozy dinner at Precious's apartment, they sat on the couch, wrapped in a warm blanket. The soft glow of the lamp created a peaceful ambience as they chatted about their future plans. "I've been thinking a lot about where we're headed," Frank said, his voice thoughtful. "I'm so glad we met and became friends. It feels like our lives have intertwined in such a meaningful way." Precious looked at him, her heart fluttering. "I feel the same way, Frank. Our journey has been incredible, and I've cherished every moment we've shared." Their eyes met, and there was a moment of silence as they both realized the depth of their feelings for each other. It was clear that their bond had grown into something more than friendship. One evening, as they sat together on the rooftop of Frank's apartment building, the city lights twinkling below, Frank gathered the courage to express his feelings. "Precious," he began, his voice steady but filled with emotion, "I've been meaning to tell you something. Over the past few months, I've realized that my feelings for you have grown into something more than just friendship. I care about you deeply, and I can't imagine my life without you." Precious's heart raced as she listened. She had sensed the shift in their relationship but hadn't fully acknowledged it until now. "I've been feeling the same way," she admitted, her voice soft. "You've become such an important part of my life, and I've grown to love you more than I ever expected." Frank reached out and took her hand, his touch gentle and reassuring. "I'm so glad to hear that, Precious. I want us to be more than friends. I want to build a future together, if you're willing." Tears of joy welled up in Precious's eyes as she squeezed his hand. I'd like that very much. With their feelings now openly shared, Frank and Precious began a new chapter in their relationship. Their bond grew even stronger as they navigated life together, supporting each other through challenges and celebrating successes. They continued to explore their shared interests and passions, from community projects to travel adventures. Their relationship was grounded in mutual respect, understanding, and love. As they spent more time together, their commitment to each other deepened. They talked about their future, their dreams, and their hopes for a life together. Both were excited about the possibilities and eager to take their relationship to the next level. As their relationship flourished, Frank and Precious decided to introduce each other to their families. Precious's family welcomed Frank with open arms, impressed by his sincerity and dedication. Frank's family, initially surprised by the change in him, soon came to appreciate Precious's warmth and the positive impact she had on Frank's life. The two families bonded over shared meals, stories, and laughter, creating a supportive network for their relationship. The support of their families and friends strengthened their resolve to build a future together. They knew that their love was not just about the two of them but also about the families and communities that surrounded them. After months of building their life together, Frank decided it was time to take the next step. He planned a special evening, reminiscent of the night they had first confessed their feelings to each other. He arranged a romantic dinner at a rooftop restaurant with a stunning view of the city. The setting was elegant, with candles flickering and soft music playing in the background. As they enjoyed their meal, Frank's heart raced with anticipation. After dessert, he took Precious's hand and led her to a quiet corner of the rooftop, where he had set up a small, beautifully decorated table with a single, sparkling engagement ring. "Precious," he began, his voice filled with emotion, "from the moment we met, you've brought so much joy and meaning into my life. I can't imagine spending my life with anyone else but you. Will you marry me?" Precious's eyes filled with tears as she looked at the ring and then at Frank. "Yes, Frank. I would be honored to marry you." Frank slipped the ring onto her finger, and they embraced, overwhelmed with happiness. The city lights shimmered around them, reflecting the joy they felt in their hearts. With the engagement officially announced, Frank and Precious began planning their wedding. They decided on a small, intimate ceremony with close family and friends. The focus was on celebrating their love and commitment, rather than elaborate decorations or extravagant details. Precious and Frank worked together to plan every detail of the wedding, from choosing the venue to selecting the music and flowers. Their shared vision and teamwork made the process enjoyable and meaningful. They chose a beautiful garden venue, surrounded by lush greenery and colorful blooms. The setting was perfect for their vision of a simple yet elegant celebration.
I hope you enjoyed the tale. If so, please like the video, comment, share it with your family and friends, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell for more enchanting tales like this one. Goodbye.